Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Glad everybody can be with me on this good Monday. We 10 episodes into this thing, man. Can't believe it's already been 10 episodes, man. Time waits on nobody. I want to thank y'all for rocking out with me for these 10 and 10 more and 10 more after that and 10 more after that. Always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this. We are on all audio platforms of podcasts, SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube, of course. It don't cost nothing to do that. So please make sure you do that for me. Hope everybody had a good weekend, man. Hope everybody had a good week. It is still scorching out here. We are midway through July. Hope everybody's still staying cool. Everybody chasing them goals. Everybody getting their ass in that gym. But yeah, man, I'm glad that y'all can be with me today on this good Monday, man. I definitely had a good week, especially on the music tip. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into this thing, man. We got Clipse' new album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, that dropped on Friday. First off, I want to salute the Clipse, man, for an absolutely great rollout. Great rollout. A1 rollout. You niggas, especially in 2025, y'all definitely set the bar for what a rollout should look like, because a lot of the times what we get from artists and what we get from entertainers, musicians is, they drop a single like 2 weeks before the album come out, and then the album comes. It's like really no promo run, no tour. They definitely embody what a promotion should look like for an album. Absolutely killed this rollout. Y'all damn near was on every platform. I enjoyed every single interview. I can't really say which one was my favorite because I liked all of them. I like Budden's one. I like the one with Elliot. Salute to everybody who was involved in the Clipse rollout, because it was definitely A1. And artists should definitely take some notes in terms of how to roll out an album. We don't want to get a single and then 2 weeks later your album come. Like, no, bro, really put in some effort. Go talk to people, go sit down with people, get in depth for what your project's going to be about. Release a single, release 2 singles. I think throughout this rollout, Clipse released 1 or 2 singles. You know what I'm saying? Perfect. Like 2 months, because I want to say they started this. We first heard, I want to say, Whips and Chains. I want to say we heard late May. I want to say somewhere in between late May. They've been promoting this album for almost about 2 months, if not at least a month and a half. So again, salute to them, man, because y'all killed this shit. The merch is on point. I did get me some merch from BBC Clothing. The only thing I wish is that I wish I could have got that shirt before that album actually came out, so I can rock it today on today's show. But they told me they'll be sending me a notification soon, because I definitely wanted to wear that for today's show. I was excited to get that, but when I get it, I'll be rocking it for sure. So again, salute to y'all for a great rollout. Salute to Steven Victor, their manager. Y'all absolutely killed this shit, man. Absolutely killed it. So let's get into this album, man. Let God Sort 'Em Out. Let God Sort 'Em Out was 13 tracks. And I always say 12 to 13 tracks is what I always prefer on an album. I feel like that's just the perfect match, especially rap albums. When you start tapping into that 15 to 20 range, you better make sure that shit is on point, because a lot of times you run the risk of having filler. I feel like if you're going to go in between that 15 to 20 tracks, or sometimes even more than 20, you got to throw some dope-ass skits on there. Dope-ass skits, dope-ass interlude. But I definitely feel like when you get into that range, you can't have no filler. Don't trick me. Don't trick me with a 20-track album. You got a whole bunch of filler on there. But this album was 13 tracks, and I absolutely it was great work. Shout out to Pharrell. Again, I said this last week. Pharrell definitely held it down for his Virginia niggas, because the production was A1. So definitely want to shout out to them. Shout out to Pusha T and Malice for absolutely doing a great job on this. I want to give this album 8.5 to 9. Great work. Out the gates, The Birds Don't Sing had a nigga emotional. Off rip, I can definitely relate to that. And Malice verse was definitely hard to get through. Talking about how he found his pops in the kitchen, and of course Pusha T with his verse about his mom. And I really love the fact that both of them had a story about each of the parents. It wasn't both of them rapping about each parent. Pusha T chose to rap about, their mother. Malice chose to rap about their father. That was a dope concept. Dope way to start out an album. Tough to get through, but a dope way to start out an album. Then, of course, next we had Chains and Whips. POV, So Be It. POV is fire. I'm not really the biggest fan of Tyler, the Creator, but he definitely performed well on that track. That might be one of the favorites on that album. Next up, you had So Be It. You had Ace and Trumpets after that. All Things Considered with The Dream. Mike Tyson Blow to the Face. That seems to be everybody consensus favorite. That's definitely a dope record. Abita, FICO with Stove God Cooks, and Glorious Bastards. So Far Ahead, Let God Sort 'Em Out featuring Nas. By the Grace of God to finish it out. Now everybody was anticipating a Jay-Z feature. And we didn't get the Jay-Z feature. We got a Nas feature. But I do remember during their press run, their promo run, they was talking about a legendary rapper being on the album. Of course, everybody thought the stars was aligned because they had left Def Jam. They went to Rock Nation. So everybody was like, of course, we're getting a Jay-Z. We're getting a Jay-Z feature. Turned out to be Nas, but I want to salute Nas because Nas definitely performed well on this. Definitely performed well on that record. So Far Ahead with Pharrell singing on there. That's one of my favorite records on that album. I like that. Like, very braggadocious type of record. You know, niggas was just getting into their bag. And this album really, Malice wasn't missing a beat. I hadn't heard from Malice in this full in 16 years. So definitely salute the man. He has some crazy bars on here. I think that was on So Far Ahead when he said, I've been both Mason Bethers. I done been at both intersections. Come on, man. Niggas was rapping their ass off on this album. And then on POV on the hook when Pusha T was rapping, he's like, they create content. I despise that. I content create. Yeah, I content create. Then they tries that. Like, that's crazy, bro. Crazy. These niggas was rapping their ass off on this album. Everything meshed. I don't feel like this is not an album where Pharrell outshined the Clipse or Clipse outshined Pharrell. It was a perfect mesh. Like I said, POV is probably my favorite. And then after that, I would have to probably say So Far Ahead. I like All Things Considered. Abita was fire. Like Pharrell coming out the gates rapping on that. I fuck with that. There's not one bad track on this album. It's not one bad track on this album at all. Again, I would have to give this an 8.5 to 9. Just great album. Definitely has a chance to probably get a higher rating, but that's where I'm at with it right now, being that it just came out on Friday. But salute to everybody who performed this on Chains and Whips. Of course, Kendrick Lamar, he had a dope verse. But man, y'all niggas got in y'all bag on this album, man. So again, I want to salute the Clipse. And Glorious Bastards, it was dope to see Ab Liver on there. He also had performed with them on the live event. I think that was Thursday night to premiere the album at Apple Music. So it was good to see all three of them back together. If I had to say who probably performed the best on the album, see, I know a lot of people will say that Malice probably was the one who performed the best, and I'm not gonna argue that at all because you know he definitely performed. He has some dope bars on here, and Pusha T definitely went crazy. But I would have to give the edge to Pusha T just as far as performance. I just feel like his bars is a little bit more impactful. But Malice definitely got busy. To be 16 years away from the game as far as album, because I know he had a couple of verses in between time. But man, it just proved that he was, you know, he's still sharp. He still got it. And they also was working on this album for a year and a half. So it was definitely time to get in there, get them reps up, definitely get in there and speak on, you know, how to make each other better and, you know, switch this up a bit. I can just imagine what the sessions was like. Definitely, it was good to hear Malice talk about him leaving and coming back and how, you know, he spoke with his father about it. He spoke with Pusha about it. One of the things that stood out to one of their promo runs, I think this is when they was on Buddy, and how, you know, when he chose to step away, Pusha didn't really argue him. He didn't give him like no scarf or nothing like that. And that's dope to see, of course, being at their brothers, because, you know, you don't never want to really be at odds when they came in the game doing something together and then eventually they separated. But for them to come back, it seemed like it was perfect time. It was perfect mesh. It was dope to hear about, you know, Birds Don't Sing session. Very tough. Pusha say he cried many a times. And that's definitely something that had to be heavy on each of them, just laying them verses. I mean, you can hear the passion in their voices when they're rapping that record. And I want to say, for them to start out the album with that versus the outro, it was very confident. I wouldn't say risky, but it was very bold. because right after that we get Chains and Whips. So it was just like, and I remember them saying that was intentional. It was intentional for them to go from the Birds Don't Sing to Chains and Whips. Boom, just that gritty. We about to start rapping, getting in our bag. The whole vibe is different. The whole vibe is different. But I want to say that's dope too, because let's go ahead and address it. Let's go ahead and let's get these feelings and all the heaviness that's been on our hearts, all this time. So a great song, definitely something that I relate to, being that I lost my sister tragically a few years ago. So of course with me, I had to, the tears was almost coming out. They didn't come out, but I was definitely emotional on that. And anybody who's lost a loved one can definitely relate to that track. The Birds Don't Sing is beautiful. It's probably the best well-written record on this album, but if I had to pick a favorite, I would have to say POV, and then I would say Abita and So Far Ahead. I really like Let God Sort Them Out and Chandeliers with Nas. Like that beat flip is crazy. With Nas coming on there, and the outro, By the Grace of God. What a way to finish the album. Let God Sort Them Out. You finish it up with By the Grace of God. Like again, like I said, album is 13 tracks. And also, I want to say they have a tour that's coming up as well. So, I mean, it was just a perfect layup. I want to salute to them also for doing the Tiny Desk. The Tiny Desk was actually premiered the day the album dropped. Definitely check that out. They performed Virginia. They performed Keys Open Doors. They performed, what else they performed? I don't got the whole set list right now, but it's definitely a dope set list. Want y'all to go check that out. And of course, they ended the Tiny Desk with Grinding. And like the last minute, they had the guy come off the instrument, and he was actually doing the beat on the desk. Everybody knows if you was a kid in school in the early 2000s when Grinding came out, you had your 2 pencils or 2 pens doing that grinding beat. So that was definitely dope to see on the Tiny Desk. And I was anticipating that they would do something like that, and they did. So I definitely want to salute to them, man. This was a great album. I'm hoping that they continue to also give us another project. Like, just don't give us this project and then go again away for some years. I'm not saying you got to come back next year, but it definitely be dope to see them come back and do it again. And also them challenging this ageism in hip hop. And I actually want to quote Malice, but being that it's so crazy to me that Pusha T and Malice are both damn near 50 years old. Pusha T is 48, Malice is 52. I think he'll be 53 like in a few more months. But they're really, deading the narrative that as you continue to get older in hip hop, you just don't got it, or you should bow out. You shouldn't be rapping. Nah, I want to read this quote from Malice when he spoke about ageism in hip hop, because I thought this was very, very profound and it needed to be said. He said, "I think hip hop has kind of jinxed itself into thinking that there's such a thing as too old should never be accepted. Either you got the talent or you don't. You could be old, you could be young. If you ain't got it, then you don't have it." And that's just what it is. I don't hear a difference in Malice as far as his ability in 2002 versus 2025. It's the same Malice. It's the same Pusha T. Like, as you continue to get older, we should be embracing, the older acts when they choose to rap. They choose to put out an album. They do it in rock. They do it in pop. They do it in heavy metal. They continue to get older. They be on tour 70, sometimes 80 years old, still making music, still putting out albums. Why can't we do that in hip hop? And I think we've matured in that aspect, because early on it was, rap is a young man's game. I remember Game had a verse on the song. It's like, "You 36 still rapping?" Like it was frowned upon to still be rapping shit. As early as 30 years old, it was frowned upon. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we're kind of like getting rid of that mindset that as you continue to get older, you shouldn't be rapping, because these two dudes embody that on this album. Like, it's ageless. To me, music is ageless. Rap is ageless. I don't care if you're 22, 32, 42, 52, shit, even 60. If you still got it, get out here. And I'm glad we've been able to see a lot of the rappers that we saw, in their early 20s, getting older, 50, 60. Shit, Jay-Z will be 60 soon. And we still want to hear a verse from him every now and then. I don't know if Hov would give us an album. I think that might be done. But, yeah, continue. If you still sharp and you still got it and you're not playing around with your craft, please continue to rap. I definitely want to hear from guys. I want to hear them put in the effort. I want to hear them, when they go on a promo run and they talking about these sessions and they putting up reps. It's like anything else. When you've been out the game for a long time, or you haven't remained consistent, You got to get in there. You got to put them reps up. I also want to shout out to Pusha T because I know this was very special for him getting back with his brother because for at least 15 years he's been rapping by himself. He hasn't been with the Clipse as a duo. It's been him dolo, and he has given us tremendous projects, tremendous features. Since when their last album together was Till the Casket Drops. And ever since then, he got with good music. He's on a good music album, performed on that. He gave us My Name Is My Name, dope album. He gave us Daytona, a classic. Gave us a classic album in between time. So for him to continue to carry that torch and still have not only his name, but the Clipse name and still in a good light in terms of niggas still getting busy. I want to salute Pusha T for that because that had to be somewhat of a challenge for him too. It was he came into the game. I remember the first song they had together was The Funeral. They both had The Funeral, and for you to come in with your brother and then eventually have to split and then be split for 16 years and come back together, that's God's work right there. So again, let God sort them out. And all the features were perfect too. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Tyler the Creator fan, but I got to salute dog on that POV verse. He really got busy. The Dream on All Things Considered. Again, Ab Liver. Stove God Cuts on FICO. And Nas on Let God Sort 'Em Out Chandeliers. Like, these niggas just went crazy, bro. Went crazy. I'm definitely anticipating to spin this more and more. That's all I've been replaying this week. That's all I've been keeping in rotation, dog, is Let God Sort 'Em Out. So again, salute to the Clipse. Salute again for the promo run. Salute to your whole team. Salute to Steven Victor, their manager, everybody who had a hand in this album rollout, because it was amazing. It was amazing. And for upcoming rappers, current rappers, hey man, take a look. This is how we want it, bro. Again, we don't want y'all to come out here and just give us a single and then 2 weeks your album come out. No, go sit down with these dope publications, these dope journalists. Get into, the process, how the album was made, your favorite sessions, what to anticipate, putting 2 songs out. I feel like that perfect time frame, probably 2 months, a month and a half before the album come out, do that. You get what I'm saying? Because they killed this rollout and did a great job on this album. So again, I want to salute to them. So I want to talk about what Ja Rule had to say. Recently, I came across a clip where Ja Rule was talking about beef being bad for hip hop. So I want to go ahead. I want to play this clip because I want to give my thoughts on this take as well. All right, where we at with it? Here we go.
It's just a record. It's just music. It's just this.
I always feel with the beef shit, man. It's like.
But the beef shit is whack for hip hop. I'm gonna keep it a buck, nigga. It's not. Everybody says it's great and they love it and they think, but nigga, it hurts the culture in a lot of ways behind the scenes. Things can't move the way they move. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now things become fucking puzzles. You know what I'm saying? Promoters got to figure out who can be where, who can be do what with who. It's just a mess, nigga. And so everybody, the fans get to enjoy the shit and they amplify the shit, but they really don't understand behind the scenes. It really, really hurts the culture as on a whole.
I think for one, a lot of people who never been there don't understand the streets. That's for one.
Yeah.
And then for two, you got the corporate motherfuckers looking like, let's just say like an MTV, like, we can't invite Rule because this person's gonna be here. Or we can't invite this person because Rule's gonna be. Like, it becomes like a shit show. Feel me?
Yeah. And then I don't want to get into the politics and talk about it.
What the hell, nigga? We got.
It's just.
Yeah, so let me start out by saying what Ja Rule is saying about beef being bad for hip hop. I can understand him. He has some valid points for that because sometimes you do get outside the booth. You go book a show, you can't have 2 rappers on the same ticket because they got beef outside the booth. But I will say this. I still think that battling in hip hop is healthy for the sport. It's healthy because at the end of the day, rap is a competitive sport. It is. That's where it goes back to. Battling, see who got the better bars. Cats battling on the corner and stuff like that. So that aspect of it, I still feel like we can't get away from. And that's why I was saluting Joey Badass for the performance that he did as far as packing up the West Coast. And this not the shit on the West Coast because Ray Vaughn definitely did his thing too. But, Joey did what he was supposed to do. But ultimately, I feel like the beef part of it, yes, that's part of it that we don't want to see it get to. And sometimes you do have the fans instigating it. But ultimately, I feel like a lot of the times we don't be knowing these rappers be beefing until we hear them on record or until they say something in the interview, or until they put it on wax. You get what I'm saying? For the most part, consistently, what I've seen is fans just want some dope music. And I'll be a liar to say throughout rap history, we haven't gotten some of the most legendary records, whether it be between Jay and Nas, Beanie and Jadakiss, just recently Drake and Kendrick. Like, we got some legendary records and moments. So I don't want us to completely get away from the battling aspect of hip hop. Beef, yes, we don't want to see guys getting hurt, getting killed, and all that extra stuff. But as far as battling in the hip hop, we definitely got to keep that there. We definitely got to keep that there. I do know that sometimes, you know, things can get tricky with labels and, again, club promoters, you know, wanting to do certain concerts. You know, probably back then you couldn't book Ja Rule and 50 Cent on the same ticket. Murder, Inc. and G-Unit, they just gonna get into it. That not only hurts the fans' experience, but it hurts the promoters' pockets and, you know, just everybody overall having a dope good time. So I definitely feel Ja Rule on that. We do gotta get away from the beef aspect of it. And I still don't think there's nothing wrong with just having it on records and not getting it past records and not getting personal. When Joey Badass was saying what he was saying out the gates early in the year, none of what he did was personal. It was just all about, I'm the best. Y'all not seeing me. Any of y'all ready to come out and get busy? Let's get busy. And not to really deep dive back on the battle we had last year, but this is really why I didn't like what J. Cole did. J. Cole, for at least 5 years, was saying, I dare a nigga to say my name. I dare a nigga to say my name. Niggas don't want no problems. Da, 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 da. He put the diss record out, you know, and I was excited more than anything because Cole had never been in the battle. So that's what I was most excited about. I wasn't saying it was a killer record or nothing like that, but it was good to see him punch. But my thing with that was, if Cole had felt like that, he should have just went all the way like Kendrick did on Like That. And on Like That, Kendrick wasn't personal. It wasn't personal. It was just a lethal, I'm the top dog, fuck y'all niggas, fuck the big three. I don't got to say it. Y'all niggas know what I'm talking about. So I feel like you can keep it lethal, but not personal. You get what I'm saying? Because I never thought Kendrick, even till this day, I still don't think Kendrick's intentions was personal. Ultimately, yes, when you listen to Like That and you hear the pedophile bars, but I still take that back to it being strategic in terms of what Drake has had on his jacket. And, you know, he just had a lot of ammo that you could use against him. I just look at it as a battle rap setting. Kendrick just had the better angles and the better, you know, he was just more strategic in that battle. You get what I'm saying? Not to say Drake didn't perform, because he performed A1 as well. But I still think that we can have these monumental moments without it getting too personal. Nothing stemmed from the Kendrick and Drake shit. I'm hearing niggas saying Drake and Kendrick, you know, ruined hip hop. And this is another thing I want to say. I feel like a lot of you niggas give the stands way too much power in terms of these two, and probably other fan bases as well. But I'm speaking about this specifically. The stands don't dictate no narratives, bro. There's a difference between a stan and a fan. Yes, granted, you do have some stands that are bigger due to the person. Nicki Minaj, LeBron James, etc., etc. I used to hate LeBron fans. That's a fact. I used to hate LeBron fans, but I realized that every LeBron fan is not a LeBron stan. There are some LeBron fans out here who give him his praise and can be objective as well. I see that with Drake, and I see that with Kendrick as well. I don't pay attention to the stands, and I see it. A lot of the time, the discourse be with a stand. Like, dog, look at the page that you following. Look at the Avi. Like, what are we doing for real? I feel like a lot of the times, y'all give the stands way, way too much power in these conversations. You can simply just ignore these niggas and enjoy the music. Drake and Kendrick battle ain't ruin hip hop for me. I got dope records from that battle. Post, I got a classic album from Kendrick. I got dope music from Drake. This shit didn't ruin nothing for me. You niggas, in my opinion, just giving the stands way, way too much burn. Way too much burn. You got to stop giving these niggas way too much burn. But back to what Ja Rule was saying, I do feel him on the beef shit. The beef shit shouldn't be, you know, getting outside of the booth. If niggas want to have a spar on the words, oh nigga, I just feel like I rap better than you. Yes, we need that for rap. We need that for rap, and we should not get away from that. We should not get away from that at all, because I feel like that's what keeps it healthy. That's what keeps the blood flowing. Like, everybody don't gotta just be, oh yeah, we this cool. And I'm not saying niggas can't be cool, because niggas still be cool after putting out some dope records. Like I said, Joey and them ain't got no static for real. Yes, we have seen throughout rap history that some of it does get personal. It got very personal between Biggie and Pac. You get what I'm saying? Beanie and Jada was at odds, but eventually that didn't really get outside the booth. It was some threatening words, but it didn't get outside the booth. And Jada and Beans closing it tight today. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like if rappers do have a beef with each other, don't rap. Have a conversation with each other, because if you know you're gonna say something on record that's gonna take it, all right, bro, that's it. We passed the rapping. Like, what you saying for real, for real? If you feel like as if you can't put it on record, you need to go have a conversation with dude, then do that. Do that. But if you're able to just keep it on record and you keep it witty, dope wordplay, you getting at them, it's not personal, you're not mentioning certain things that don't cross the line, then by all means, we need to keep that. We need to keep that rolling. So again, I do understand what Ja Rule is saying, but ultimately, beef and battling are separate. That's two separate conversations. I understand the beef shit. And I didn't really get to finish that whole conversation. Maybe they did speak on the battle aspect of it, but I wanted to introduce both sides of it, because I feel like beef and battling is separate. Yes, you do have niggas who, it don't stay on records. It go beyond that. It does interfere with record labels and concert venues and all that other stuff. Cliques can't be cool with this one because this one got a beef with this. I understand that. Hey, I grew up in the era where we had the beef DVDs. Some of the most entertaining shit I've seen. Some of that shit was funny, like the T.I. flip shit. There's sound bites from that I still laugh about. You get what I'm saying? But that eventually got past the booth. Niggas fighting or had some confrontations in Houston and all that other stuff. So I never ever want to say I want to see these rappers, get hurt or somebody end up dead. I'm never instigating to that point. Do fans have some accountability in that at some time? Yeah, I seen it. I seen it with the Dirk and Young Boy shit. Some of the fans. But I attribute that to the age and that one as well. Like, a lot of the teenagers and young adults, they really don't see it, how serious that can be. But again, ultimately, I feel like we still gotta keep the element of battling in rap. We gotta keep that. So moving on to some new music. So I came across this new artist named Kwn. I want to salute her for putting out recently a dope album, dope album, and just bringing back that true R&B feel. It's called With All Due Respect. She got a record on there called Back of the Club. That record is amazing. That record is amazing. I had to play that record at least 9 times in a row when I first heard it. Just kept it on repeat. So I want to salute to her. I want to definitely continue to deep dive into her discography and check out the rest of the music she's had. But this album is fire. So some other standout tracks on this album. You got Talk You Through It featuring Flo. Do What I Say, Stand on It. Those records I'm definitely fuck with. But that Back of the Club, yeah, that shit is fire. That shit is fire. Just A1 writing, A1 production. So I want to salute K1 for putting out this dope album. Definitely, you did your thing on that. Another artist I want to highlight, this artist named Odeal, R&B artist, had an album that came out on Friday as well called The Summer That Saved Me. Out the gates, got a dope track called Miami with Leon Thomas, London Summers, My Heart, Obi's Interlude, Monster Boys, Patience in the Chair. It's 7-track album. And when I first heard of him, I came across a snippet on Twitter, actually, and it was a song called Blame You from a project last year called Lustropolis, if I'm saying that correctly. And dog definitely gives like a Brent Faiyaz type of feel. Definitely sounds like Brent inspired. But I want to shout out Odeal for putting out, his recent album called The Summer That Saved Me. Definitely, check out that track with Leon Thomas. I sung Leon Thomas praises on this platform before. The track is called Miami and London Summers. London Summers and Miami, those are the tracks that I like on this album. So I want to salute Odeal for putting out a dope R&B album. And R&B is in a good place, man. R&B is definitely in a good place. Dudes is putting in work, and if I come across some other R&B artists, I'm definitely want to give them their props and give them they roses, because R&B is definitely getting that feeling back for sure. So salute to both of them for putting out some dope projects on that. So next up, we got Nicki Minaj versus Jay-Z. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I recently did see Nicki Minaj. She was going on her Twitter rant against Jay-Z and Rock Nation and all that. So I want to read some of these, these parts from this Vibe article that speaks on it. Nicki Minaj says Jay-Z owes her $200 million from her equity in Tidal. Nicki Minaj is escalating her public feud with Jay-Z as she has now made a claim that he owes her up to $200 million tied to her equity in Tidal. Minaj, who was one of 15 artists gifted a 3% stake in the streaming service at its 2015 launch, it says she was offered only $1 million for her share after the company was sold to Jack Dorsey Square for $302 million in 2021. We calculated about $100 to $200 million so far. Quoted by Nicki Minaj. Jay-Z called me to settle this karmic debt. It's only collecting more interest, she wrote on Twitter, adding that despite the financial dispute, you still in my top 5 though. The global icon also referenced her philanthropic goals, stating that any money recouped will help fund her Student of the Game initiative designed to cover tuition and student loans for fans. She also, was bringing up some paternity suits that Jay-Z got, Desiree Perez. I'm not really getting to all that extra, her not supporting Kamala Harris and all this other stuff. So I also want to read this because I came across this on Twitter as well that highlighted some of what else that's possibly going on with Nicki and this whole thing. So I came across this tweet that also said that Nicki Minaj's entire music and performance earnings will pay First Tennessee Bank until 2029. Tour and performance rights, including all royalties and payments effective as of April 1st, 2020, including songs like Super Bass and Say So remix with Doja Cat. So they're kind of saying this is also the reason why for Nicki Minaj also bringing this up, because she has financial problems. Now, they saying this is via UCC filings. I'll have to do some more research in terms of seeing how truthful this is, because it's hard pressed for me to believe that Nicki Minaj is broke. Like, I just find that very, very hard to believe. I do remember that a couple of years ago also that Lil Wayne sold most of, if not all of, Young Money's masters, and in that was, Nicki Minaj albums, Pink Friday, Roman's Revenge and all that. So she doesn't own her masters because Wayne sold it, I think, in 2020 for like $100 million or something like that. So I need to get some more information on that as well. But as far as her feud with Jay-Z, one thing I like to say about Nicki Minaj is I like how Nicki is passionate. I remember when she first came out and she had a documentary speaking about her recording Pink Friday and how she was getting on the artist. I think it was Kanye West at the time. She didn't say it on there, and she had an issue with him in terms of not getting a verse back during the time. But when he sent her a verse for Monster, she was on it. So Nicki Minaj is always going to speak her mind. She's not going to let nobody bully her. She just don't do that. She's going to speak against corporate infrastructures, all that, the industry labels, all that. And I salute. That's one of the personality traits I like about Nicki. But also on the other side, I don't like the way Nicki handles her disputes as well. There's also a way to go about it. I feel like as if, she has this issue with Jay-Z, she don't have to get on social media and do it in the fashion that she does. Granted, at the end of the day, she can do what she want to do, but I feel like, the relationship can also still be in a good place amongst disputes. It's all about how you go about doing certain things. And I understand she's expressive. She don't let nobody play with her. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but publicly, I don't always like the way that she goes about her disputes because it could damage the relationship she has with said person. I don't want to see Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z beefing. That's two of the biggest rap icons we see in rap history. I don't want to see that. And I didn't see that she had any court filings yet, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. But I just like to see things like this handled better. Of course, you're not always going to have great business dealings that pan out. It's all about how you handle it. Both of them can handle that, professionally behind closed doors. So that's the only thing I'll say about that in terms. I just don't want to see it publicly be handled the way that it's handled. But I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out, because again, this all I've been seeing is Nicki just going in. Just going and continuously going in on Jay-Z on social media, bro. And like I said, I don't want to see that, bro. Like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it get handled like that. I don't. We got to get to a better place to where, in terms of how we handle each other. You get what I'm saying? Of course, you're not always gonna get along. You're not always gonna agree, but it's always about how you handle it. It's always about how you handle it, and that's ultimately what I want to see be done. So next up, because I wanted to see this too, because this was troubling to me. So there's a lot of issues going on with Jackson, Mississippi's water crisis. And I came across this article the other day, and I definitely didn't want to miss speaking on this. So the ugly politics of Jackson, Mississippi's ongoing water crisis. $600 million has been spent trying to salvage the city's decrepit water system after it collapsed 3 years ago. Now the money is gone and the problems aren't fixed, and residents fear they may permanently lose control of their water. 3 years ago, a man with white hair and a ruddy grin went around the neighborhood in Jackson, Mississippi, daring residents to drink the tap water. He'd buy you a drink, but only if you had a glass of water first. He'd buy your groceries, but you had to take the case of bottled water out your shopping cart. Residents of the capital city had been under a boil water notice for weeks, and it had just been lifted. Distrust was still high, and water was still brown. Not everyone took Ted Heflin up on their drink, but Jacksonians were more than willing to let the guy buy their groceries, even if it meant going back for the bottled water. In August 2022, Jackson entered a state of emergency after flooding overwhelmed the city's fragile infrastructure, leaving residents without running water to drink, cook, brush their teeth, or even flush their toilets. Periods of low pressure and subpar service were nothing new for Jacksonians, 27% of whom live in poverty and 82% of whom are black. They have been deprived of resources by the state legislature, which is overwhelmingly white and conservative for decades, forever, really. Yeah, this is crazy. By November, the Justice Department and Environmental Protection Agency have filed a complaint against the city for failing to comply with the Clean Drinking Water Act and proposed a federal intervention to stabilize the water system. The city government and the Mississippi State Department of Health agreed to place Jackson under receivership and appointed Hennepin, who came to Jackson from Virginia, as interim third-party manager. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. I don't know, what the hell is going on with the money? That's what I want to know. This is crazy. After around 3 hours of court proceedings, residents were finally allowed to comment on the increase. Many of the residents who spoke emphasized that the way that they always pay their bills on time, but a further rate hike would push them to a financial breaking point. The residents have already paid this debt 50 times over through buying bottled water, enduring bottled water notices, paying repeated plumbing costs. Longtime resident Brooke Floyd told me. Yeah, this is insane, man. This is ridiculous. Let me read this. In the early days of conservacy and hold on. No, that's not the part I want to read. Okay, the pair presented a united front against an early iteration of $262 billion, in which, addition to giving state a controlling share over the city's water system, also threatened to divert the $600 million in congressionally allocated federal funds from the city. The federal relief package stipulated that $450 million through a state revolving loan fund that was specifically designated for capital projects, and $150 million of more flexible spending for technical assistance. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, this article is on. You can catch it on, what site is this? newrepublic.com. But all I can say about this is a shame, bro. No city in America should have water problems, period. Especially in Jackson, Mississippi. But again, that speaks to, the type of, officials that they got going there. Like I said, it seems to have been run by a lot of white people for a long time, aka white supremacy. But hopefully they can get that under control, because this is ridiculous. You talking about going over 3 years now that you still don't have clean water. And also in Flint, Michigan, I still hear that they have water issues. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully this gets resolved because nobody should be without clean water. This is ridiculous. If you having situations to where you've been on a boiling water, advisory going over 3 years, like that's not no quality of living. That's not quality of living. And ultimately, where the funds went at? Where the funds at? That's what I want to know. Like you say, 600 million has been spent trying to salvage the city's decrepit water system after it collapsed 3 years ago. Okay, so where's the money at? Y'all just taking that, going on trips, going to play golf, going overseas. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are we doing for real? That's what I want to know. Like, how do you just have 600 million evaporate? Especially to fix something that's major and that's a necessity. Water, clean water. Like, nobody should be able to turn on their faucet, it's brown water. Turn on the sink, brown water. Turn on the shower, brown water. That shouldn't be going on. So I want to know what the fuck y'all did with this 600 million in Jackson, Mississippi, because that don't make no sense at all. Hopefully this gets cleaned up soon. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on it so I can get more information. But like I said, you can go check out this article on New Republic. It's a lot, so I don't want to read all of it, but I just want to know what the fuck happened to the 600 million, because this don't make no sense. And this been going on for 3 years. Come on, man. It was never going to fix a problem. That shit went to government officials' pockets, trust funds for kids, trips, all. That's where that 600 million went at. Because you telling me 600 million was spent to fix a water crisis and the money is just gone? It went into their pockets. We don't got to play around. We don't got to have no deep dive conversations. That's what it is. You just don't invest 600 million, then all of a sudden they still had this water crisis. Y'all been playing around with them funds, spending it on your families, putting it in trust funds, putting it in wills, all that. That's what's been going on. So hopefully, and prayers to the residents in Jackson, Mississippi, because nobody should be going through that. I also know they had some floods recently in North Carolina. I want to say prayers and condolences to the people out there who were affected. They did have some in Texas as well. And actually, they had some deaths that I think got up into the 60 range. I think 100s. Don't completely quote me on that. But I did see that. Let me see if I can get some more information on that. Yeah, Texas flooding death toll rises. Let me see. New flood watch in effect. Let me see. As of the morning of July 12th, the death toll had risen to at least 129, with authorities in Kerr and Travis counties reporting more bodies recovered. The toll in Kerr County rose to at least 103, including 67 adults, 36 children, according to the county's Joint Information Center. In Travis County, the toll rose to 9 from 8. Spokesperson Hector Nieto confirmed to USA Today. Officials previously said that at least 27 campers and counselors from Camp Mystic were among the dead. This is sad, man. This is sad. I want to know what's going on with that as well. Like, how can something, like, what's going on with the infrastructure that the death toll got that bad from flooding? Like, this sounds like some Katrina type shit. So again, prayers and condolences to those affected in Kerr County and Travis counties. That's sad. Of course, when it comes to kids, like, one kid is enough. 36 children, 67 adults. Yeah, man, I definitely don't ever want to see nothing like that. So prayers and condolences to that. As far as, sports news, NBA news, Summer League just started. Salute all the top picks. Dylan Harper and Cooper Flag got into it, Saturday night, actually, excuse me. They had a dope showing. Dylan Harper balled out. Shout out to my dog. I'm definitely a Cooper Flag fan. Cooper Flag, definitely showed out. And another thing, I need y'all niggas to stop doing this right here. Hold on, let me pull this up because I want to see exactly, because I think he had, 30. Yeah, here we go. Spurs versus Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper had a good game. Cooper Flag had 31 points, 10 to 21 from the field, 8 to 13. Definitely had some highlight moments. He had a couple of huge dunks. One, he almost put it down completely. So definitely shout out to my dog Cooper Flag. Dylan Harper, he had, how much he had? Come on, where they at with it? He played 20 minutes, had 16 points. 2 assists, 6 rebounds. So salute to them. But the other night, I did see something. Cooper Flag first game. And a lot of times, y'all don't give these niggas no grace, bro. Ace Bailey had a bad first game. Cooper Flag, he had a bad first game. As soon as he have his bad first games, the niggas start saying, oh, he B grade Andre Karolinko. One nigga say that, everybody start running with it. First of all, Andre Karolinko and Cooper Flag don't play nothing alike. They have none of the same game. They don't even move the same handles, movement, shooting form, none of that. Andre Karolinko, majority of the time, was a post-up player. Cooper Flag, he can post up, but he's like a guard. He's like a 6'9", 6'10" guard. What are we talking about? They don't play nothing the same, none of the same shooting form. Like, niggas just be saying shit. Y'all got to stop doing that, bro. That shit just weird. It don't even make sense, bro. Like, I seen that and I was like, bro, why are y'all comparing this nigga to Andre Karolinko? Start watching the game on your own and make your own assessments. That's all I'm gonna say. Cooper Flag and Andre Karolinko don't play nothing alike. I seen that the other night. I'm like, Andre Karolinko, like, oh, I see what we doing now. Y'all just saying shit and niggas running with it. Come on with your own assessments, man. Because Andre Karolinko and Cooper Flag don't play nothing alike. Nothing. It just don't make sense. But salute to them for having a dope game. Ace Bailey, he had a dope second game too, because his first game wasn't that good as well. But salute to them, man. Salute to them, bro. Niggas had a good game. Devin Booker, he signed an extension. He is now the highest paid player in NBA history. Devin Booker signed for, let me see, I think it was like, he's getting 71 a year, bro. Devin Booker been cleaning up on these contracts, by the way. Devin Booker signs a 2-year, $145 million contract extension. Salute to him, man. Man, this thing cleaning up. Because there was some rumors about, possibly Devin Booker seeking a trade. Franchise shooting guard has signed his 2-year contract extension with the Phoenix Suns. The team announced Thursday the deal is worth an extra $145 million that will run through the 29-30 season. Devin Booker is the embodiment of the Phoenix Suns, representing the best of our organization, our community, and our future. Suns owner Matt Ashiba said in a press release, as the team's all-time leading scorer, his on-court achievements are unparalleled and a result of his relentless preparation and unwavering pursuit of excellence. Yeah, this is crazy, bro. Crazy. 2 years, 145 M's? Come on, bro. God, that's crazy. So we talking about, let me be officially correct, because I want to make sure niggas' numbers is correct. Hold on. We talking about 72.5 a year. And we just recently had SGA. He signed his extension. He'll be getting 71 a year. Hey, man. Congratulations, brother. Get your bread. I ain't no hater for real. I like to see Devin Booker, out here getting the money that he deserves, because that's dope to see, bro. That's dope to see, man. These niggas is cleaning up on the contracts, bro. And I remember last year I had seen when this nigga bought a 96 Impala that had 86 miles on it. Still had the paper on there. It was kind of peeled off. This nigga Devin Booker is a killer one. I'm not really into cars like that, but that was kind of crazy to see. I was like, God damn, bro. Like, these niggas is going crazy on the contracts. Like, in his career, because he recently had a contract that was going crazy. Devin Booker, at the end of this new contract that he signed, will have earned $525 million in his career. So far, he has earned $215 million. So in 2024, he will be making, he made $49 million. In 2025, he'll make $53 million. 2026, he'll make $57 million. In 2027, $61 million. 2028, $64 million. And in 2029, $69 million. His contract details, like I said, he just signed a new extension for $245. That carries an average of, let me see, average salary 66. Yeah, this nigga Devin Booker. His previous contract was 4 years, $220. I remember that one. That was average salary of 55. Hey, salute to y'all, man. Get y'all money. Hopefully, when the next CBA come around, y'all continue to earn more money. I just hope that y'all clean up on the performing aspect, because y'all know y'all don't be holding up at the end of y'all deal. I don't want to deep dive into that again, but niggas know how I feel about that. Niggas know exactly how I feel about that, man. But again, Summer League is still going on. Definitely interested to see how these young bucks clean up. My Bulls had a game last night as well. Shout out to Mataz Buzelis, still doing this thing. My dog will be a top 15 player in 2 years. Write that down, clip it, Remember it. Stamp that. My dog will be a top 15 player in 2 years. So salute to my dog, Mataz Buzelis. Nothing else as far as sports news. Like I said, it's July. Ain't too much going on that front. So yeah, man, I'm ready for football season, man. I'm ready for football season. Ready to get the season started. Shout out to my Panthers. Hopefully we can just get back to the playoffs, my nigga. God damn, bro. We ain't been in the playoffs since 2017. We haven't had a playoff win since 2015, the year we went to the Super Bowl. It's been 10 years. I can't believe it's been 10 years since we've been to the Super Bowl, bro. That's fucking insane. Time waits for nobody, bro. Time waits for nobody, bro. I cannot wait for the season to kick off. I'm not gonna let these niggas get me in my feelings no more, though. I've been better at, not letting the Panthers ruin my Sundays. Like, I used to be so invested. I can think back to moments when I was a kid and just being so heavily. It'd been times I didn't want to go to school the next day. It'd be times when I get into in adult life, I didn't want to go to work the next day. These niggas had me that's how much invested I was as a fan. I'm still invested. Don't get it fucked up. But not to the point where I'm letting it affect my day. Y'all niggas not going to do that with me, bro. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Y'all not going to fuck me up like that. I did want to talk about some sneaker news, though, because niggas is funny. And when I say niggas, I'm talking about Nike, Jordan brand. These niggas had a shock drop. These niggas had a shock drop for the shattered backboards on Saturday. Y'all niggas hilarious. And of course, what app was it on? Sneakers? Did I go on there? Nope. Did I try? Nope. But I got the alert from a Twitter page that I follow that gives you alerts when sneakers are about to drop. And I seen it and I said, and it said shattered backboard shock drop. I said, I know this shit on sneakers. I clicked the link. Sure enough, sneakers. No bullshit. That shit sold out in a minute. That shit sold out in a fucking minute. And niggas is hilarious. Am I going to cop the sneaker? Of course. In a few weeks, of course, we got the Steel 10s that's coming out. I will be copping 2 pairs of those. Definitely need that. I definitely will be copping those. So that's, and again, 2025. We all anticipate it. It's going to be a crazy year. We halfway through the year. We are in July, so we on the back end now. So it's definitely going to get crazier on the back end. We had a strong front end. If you follow me on social media, you can go on my Instagram and my TikTok. I did a top 5 of the top 5 sneaker pickups that I had this year so far. So if you want to go check that out, please go check that out. I'll also just dropped my my hockey jersey video on Instagram and TikTok as well. So also go check that out. If you got some time, please go check that out. But it's definitely been a dope year for sneaker releases. I anticipate the back end of this year to be just as strong. I actually got my list because I actually had to put a list together of sneaker pickups that I was going to cop this year. So on this back end, we got Aqua 8s on July 19th, Steel 10s August 2nd, Shattered Backboards August 23rd, Fire Red 5 September 13th, Shadow 10s come out October 29th, Taxi 12s November 8th, and the Air Jordan 8 Bugs Bunny November 15th. I know they'll probably drop another 11 around Christmas because that's what they always do. I don't know exactly what's going to be dropping. But 2025 definitely was that punch him in the mouth year. I know niggas' pockets definitely got tapped, But, hey, man, it is what it is. I've already accepted that I'm never going to give up sneakers, bro. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to continue to buy it. I'm going to continually have a budget to the side for sneakers. At one point in time, I kind of felt like I was going to take a step back. I lied. It is what it is at this point. Like, I'm going to continue to run that shit up. I'm going to continue to cop sneakers and just accept my fate, man. That's just what I'm into. That's what I like. That's where I don't really spend my money on other things except for clothing and sneakers for real. And I work hard, so I'm going to cop them motherfuckers. So, salute to Jordan Brand and Nike for having a dope year. New Balance as well. Y'all definitely made 2025 a great year for sneakers so far. So that's pretty much all I got for today's show, man. Again, I want to thank y'all for kicking in with me. I'm 10 episodes in this motherfucker, man. I'm going to continue to be here. I'm going to continue to run it up. I want to salute to all the supporters I've gotten on TikTok. I want to specifically shout out TikTok because y'all definitely been fucking with me. Y'all definitely been giving me great feedback as far as my content. So salute to TikTok for definitely holding me down. Again, I'm 10 episodes in this thing. I'm going to have 10 more. I'm going to have 10 more, and I'm going to have 10 more after that. I'm going to continuously run this thing up and continue to give y'all great content, man. So I want to thank y'all definitely for fucking with me, taking this journey with me, and, continuously be in my corner, man. Y'all, please continue to be safe out here. Continue to get your ass in the gym. Get yourself healthy, And also fuel your body. Please don't eat to be full. Eat to fuel the body. That's very important. Don't eat to get full. Eat to fuel the body. That's very, very important. Again, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this. Again, I'm on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple. I'm also, of course, on YouTube. It don't cost nothing to like, share, and subscribe. Also engage, drop a comment, drop a review if you like. And, continuously rock out with me, man. So again, this is I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. I'm out.